A very good morning to you. This is, of course, the Chat Wrap on Relax Radio. Hope you are having yourself an amazing day so far. It is a beautiful Tuesday. And guess what? We have so much to talk to you about, from entertainment, news to inspiration. We have everything that you need to get on with your day. So make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. More importantly, Andrea and I both, we would absolutely love if you could be a part of the show, okay? We are nothing without you. And what's most important to us is you. So make sure that you tune in, make sure that you let us know what's going on, because we would absolutely love to hear from you. Andrea, how have you been? How is the day going so far for you?
Morning, how are you? I'm very good. I just confused with the hoodie, but I'm sorry for that. But I hope that's all right. I'm not gonna bring this next time. How was your
Yeah.
morning?
My morning was absolutely great, just remembering things that I need to be grateful for, because that's absolutely important every time. And that's definitely one thing that we are going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about how you can be grateful, what you can do to appreciate your life a little bit more, and what you can do to just become a better version of yourself. And that is what we do here at Relax Radio. That is what we do here at the Chat Wrap. So make sure that you keep it tuned all throughout, because we're going to be with you here for a couple hours, talking about all the interesting things that you absolutely need to know. Now, before we start off, I also want to remind you to be a part of the show. You can do that by commenting down below and letting us know what you're thinking, or very simply, you could call us up if you're listening to us on our app. You could always call us up, and the number to do so is 07852 473 473. Now, with that being said, let's head on over to the topic for today, which is about social media. Now, before we get into it, Andrea, I have a question for you. Do you use social media? Would you say you're an ardent user of social media?
I think that nowadays everyone's use social media, and I think that it's more common to have a social media than to don't have one. Do you
Mm-hmm.
use it?
Yes, of course. Like you said, at least in my generation, there are very few people that don't necessarily use social media. And yeah, definitely being a person that actively uses social media can be so great. I don't know about you, but for me, especially during like COVID-19, during lockdown, I couldn't really travel, I couldn't meet my friends, I couldn't speak to people that I wanted to be physically. But social media really did help me. It helped me to talk to people, to keep in touch with friends who are far away, who couldn't visit. And social media is genuinely amazing in terms of like being able to connect with people, creating content. You get to see what other people are doing.
But I think that there is another side as well about social media.
Exactly.
For example, I have a timer on my phone that I don't need to be like in social media more than 2 hours every day, like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, because I get really distracted and I do nothing at all in all day. And we
Yeah,
talked
no.
yesterday, like about being productive, and all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. No, see, the thing is, social media, I've said this before, but social media is like a knife, You can use it to do good. You can use it to, prepare yourself a meal metaphorically, but you could also use it to hurt somebody or hurt your own self, which is why I think it's very important to be careful and be very knowledgeable when using social media, right? So that is what Andrea and I want to talk to you today about. We want to talk to you about a few things that you can do to take care of yourself when you use social media. Now, you could possibly be somebody that doesn't use it, but these are things that you should definitely know, because you are going to come across people, either your children, your own children, or somebody you associate that needs this advice, which is why we thought we should share it with you. We thought we should educate you with regards to what you can do in terms of being safe and taking care of yourself on social media. Because Andrea, I feel like self-care is something that we talk about all the time. We talk about, yesterday we spoke about self-care. Spoke about how important it is to have good self-care. We spoke about things like, you said you go to the gym to take care of yourself. I said I go on walks, listen to music, do what you love. But one thing that people, well, don't really talk about nowadays is how to take care of yourself, or self-care tips on social media. So Andrea, do you want to start us off and tell us a few things that we could do, and everybody listening in, a few things that they could do in order to be as safe as possible and take care of yourself when using social media?
Wow, I think that for the social media stuff, we need to do like we need to calm down ourselves, like take a break for social media. As I said, like I put a timer to don't be like 8 hours in a day, because sometimes we don't realize that. And I think that that's really important. And I think that other thing that could help us will be to realize that it's social media. It's not something that is right. Really, you can edit pictures, you can edit videos, as
Mm.
like some videos that we saw about Kim Kardashian. I don't know if do you know her. Like,
Yes, of course.
yeah. I think that there is so many ways, because when we talk about mental health, we all just like self care. We just talk about like our body, but we don't talk about our mind. Like, how do we feel inside us?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with you. And I think you brought out something very interesting. That's about having a limit when you use social media. That's the first thing you spoke of. And the second thing that I really liked, Andrea, is the fact that you said that social media is basically not always real. You brought up Kim Kardashian, and I think that's really one of the most negative things in social media today. The fact that so many people have kind of fabricated their lives and what they look like to such an extent that little girls and boys, young children, kind of look up to that and kind of assume that that's the ideal that they need to stick to. If it's with regards to a body size or with regards to how you should dress or how you should act, and whereas there's no such thing as an ideal size or an ideal type or an ideal body. That's just not real. But that's one thing that social media kind of portrays, that we need to stop. It's okay for somebody to be, if they're confident with their body, it's absolutely fine for them to showcase it on social media. But one thing we need to understand is to understand that we don't necessarily have to look like that person. We don't necessarily have to act like that person. And I feel like that is definitely something that younger children in today's day and age are not taught about. It's not spoken about. We don't talk about the fact that these impressions that we leave on the younger generation can be toxic and can be really harmful.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah.
I really think about that. And also, but like, as we can see in social media and during these past years, we just saw that the standards, the beauty standards always change. Like 10 years
Mhm.
ago, you like it like Timberland boots, but right now, no one is wearing that. Especially,
Absolutely.
so,
So what you mean to say is everything is basically just a social construct.
yeah,
Everything's just
exactly.
constructed, created by society. And I feel like because of social media, we are feeling this need to kind of stick to those social constructs. Like, you need to be a size zero, you need to look like this, or you need to look pretty to be famous, when that's absolutely not true. And that's kind of the message that we want to portray. Okay, so the number one self-care tip for you when you use social media is to remember that not everything you see on social media is real. Okay, and I want you to, and look, we spoke of how social media can be good, and trust me, Andrea, social media definitely can be good, because for me
Yeah.
personally, there are so many people that I follow, and there are so many people that I have friends on my Facebook and social media influencers that I follow that are very real, that give out a good message, that have give out this body positivity message, that give out really good inspirational influential messages. So at the end of the day, uh, see, we can't really change the people on social media, but
But you
what we
can
can
change your
do.
media, yeah, you feed, because as you said, like you can do good things on social media, as well as you can follow like good accounts that teach you how to be a good person every day, teach you so many things like about mental health, meditations. That's really good. Like
Mm,
health,
of course.
yeah, and that's really nice. You just need to pay attention what you do in your Instagram or the social media that you use, and see if that works for you, or how do you feel looking at that.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely important to remember, that you need to curate your feed, be it TikTok, be it Instagram, be it Facebook, or whatever social media platform you are on. You need to remember to curate it. So if you have an account that you don't like, or if there's negativity that's spread through a certain account, please, please, for your sake, do not be afraid to block or unfollow that account. because it's at the end of the day, it's what you follow, that's what you see. So make sure that you follow accounts that are healthy, that are good for you, and you get rid of all of this negativity that is spread on social media. Don't forget to, that's always an option on any social media platform, even on Twitter, where you can report accounts, where you can report a certain account based on whatever, social standards or whatever of that sort. So make sure that you use these tools, because at the end of the day, Andrea, what I think is, with you reporting accounts, it's not just for your benefit, but for the benefit of your entire
Yeah,
society that
because
uses
sometimes
social
people
media.
don't realize that they are following something that they don't feel good with, and when you report, you can help so many people. Like maybe there is younger people that use this, like 10 years old, and they just see a person doing bad things, and they just don't think about that because they thinking that it's something good or normal. So when you report that account, you can help to that people that don't really know about that issue.
Absolutely, that is so true. So I think the main takeaways from this few minutes of conversation that we had is, number one, you need to remember when you're using social media that people are not their social media presence. It's so easy to scroll through your Instagram feed and to begin to feel bad because your life doesn't seem as fun, or you don't seem as glamorous as those on social media. But I need to remember that people only show the best part of their life on social media. You don't get to see you only get to see like 1/5 of people's lives. So number one, remember that people are not their social media presence. Number two, Andrea and I spoke about how you are not your social media presence. Your the likes that you get on social media, or the followers you have, don't depict your worth, right? The amount of followers you have doesn't really mean anything. It's just one part of your life. And yeah,
You don't even know like if that person is having a good day to give a like to you, or a bad day, or they just bother you. Like, just don't take care about those things because that doesn't matter. Like, I don't know. I don't pay attention to that, to be honest.
absolutely. That is so true. You need to remember that you are not your social media presence, that you are so much more than the likes on your Facebook, or the likes on your Instagram. Like Andrea said, these likes or social media doesn't depict how good of a person or how bad of a person you are. So at the end of the day, remember that it's so important that you take care of yourself when you use social media. We spoke about, Andrea and I both spoke about how important it is to curate your feed, which means you block accounts that you don't like, you get rid of accounts that spread negativity, and you follow accounts and you follow social media that essentially spread positivity and that are good for you. So make sure that you curate your social media feed. Remember that people are not their social media presence, and remember that you are not, your worth rather isn't depicted by your social media presence. And with that being said, Andrea, do you want to remind everybody listening in about our social media, about how they can follow our social media to stay updated all day, every day?
Of course, they can follow us on Facebook, on YouTube, that you can rewatch. Like, if you find that interesting, like, I can repeat that. I want to listen that again. Or you can follow on Instagram, that we just keep and try to keep in touch with us because we would like to hear about you guys.
Absolutely. We would absolutely love to hear from you. If you have something that you want to share with us, if you want to add on to the conversation, all you got to do is call us up on 078 or connect with us by the comments down below. Now, with that being said, we are going to head on to a little break, but make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio.
climb Mount Everest. That is one of that's in my bucket list. You're laughing, but that is the facts right there. I'd love to do that. That is something I'm looking forward to do, hopefully.
Climb Everest.
Mount Everest. I mean, okay, not the very tip of Mount Everest, maybe the base camp at least.
You're talking about mental health. Well, if you went out and got some exercise in the fresh air, that would improve your mental health. It will make you feel better.
That's true. That is true. I wholeheartedly agree. But then for some people, it's how do you find the motivation to, especially when it comes to riding a bicycle, to do it again and again and again and again? It's a cycle that you have to be used to. How do you do it? What makes you wake up in the morning and decide, hey, I'm going to pick my bike up today. I'm going to cycle. What makes you want to do that?
What makes me want to do that?
Yeah. What do you like? What could you give listeners, like people listening in right now? What kind of tip could you give them?
Well, the first tip I would give them, if you haven't tried it before, try it. It can open up new horizons. It'll make you fitter. It will definitely make you fitter. Cycling is one of the best forms of aerobic exercise you can do.
It sounds like, I mean, if you think about it, yeah, it sounds like great fun. Because what essentially you're trying to say is also at the same time, when you, if you look at it from this perspective, with regards to mental health, especially when you look at it with mental health, this is another way to fight it. I feel like you go outside, you meet more people, you interact with, socially, you will interact with more people, and you're keeping fit, you're making connections, you're breathing in the good and exhaling the bad. I feel like that's a great thing right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got a better way with words than I have, I'll tell you. But you're quite right. What you say there. You're quite right.
I mean, I've been doing this for quite some time. I mean, hey, you'll get the hang of it.
I've been doing it for about 10 minutes now, so yeah.
That I can never really understand people staying in one room the whole day when you can have the world to see. I am a traveler. I travel. I love traveling. Traveling is just one of the things I do. And yeah, on top of my bucket list was, to one time, hopefully when I get there, go to Nepal and climb Mount Everest. That is one of that's in my bucket list. You're laughing, but that is the facts right there. I'd love to do that. That is something I'm looking forward to do, hopefully.
Climb Everest.
Mount Everest. I mean, okay, not the very tip of Mount Everest, maybe the base camp at least.
Base camp, yeah.
At least.
Would you be able to cycle there?
Oh.
The Chat Trap.
Welcome back to the show, and a very good morning to you. Hope you are having yourself an amazing day so far. We've had such amazing things to talk about so far, and we've spoken about social media healthcare or well-being, what you can do to be safe when you use social media. Now, if you want to know more, if you want to be a part of the conversation, all you got to do is make sure that you call us up on 07852 473 473, or you can very simply leave a comment down below. Now, with that being said, Andrea, I think we need to continue the conversation that we were having with regards to what we can do to be safe on social media.
Wow, I was just thinking about what we're talking about, like taking a break, because I think that that's really helpful. Because we don't realize that sometimes we procrastinate a lot. As I said, like sometimes I'm just in exam term, like in college, that I need to focus on that, and then I'm just on Instagram or Facebook looking TikTok, like trying to ignore that fact. So I think that it's really important to take a break, because that will help you to realize what you need to do right now. Like don't leave things for like next week or the last day, because I did that, and that went really bad to me. I mean, my exam was not that good, but then I said, okay, let's don't use Instagram. Let's take a break from this for a week before my exams. And oh my God, you can see like how much change in my notes, because I said, wow, I need to do that again, because it really helped me a lot. Do you have any experience similar like that?
Yeah, no, absolutely I do, because like I said, we spoke of earlier on, actually, social media, it's kind of hard to stop yourself from using it, because it's very addictive. You can keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and you have never-ending things to watch. Like if you go on TikTok, you could just keep scrolling, and you there's going to be videos for hours, right? Which is kind of scary when you think about it, because you can spend hours on end using social media without realizing that you're wasting so much of your time. Which is why I think we need to, like you said, very important, we need to remember to take a break. If you spend that much, like you said in the beginning, you said you have a time limit on your phone. I think that's an amazing thing to do, to actually have a time limit, and so that you're aware of how much time you spend on your phone. Now, the other thing that I do want to talk about, Andrea, is the fact how the idea of cyberbullying, you know,
Yeah.
cyberbullying is something very real that happens on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, like when I was younger, I thought that that was like something that don't take about. But while I was growing up, like right now or like last year, I just realized that that's something that we really need to talk about again, but like in a stronger way. Because I just meted so many friends, and they started telling me like, I have been in this situation and this another situation, and I feel it really bad because I just been ignoring that without like you can post on in your stories or something like that how to help someone with this in this situation, and that helps. But if you just ignore that, and because cyberbullying never happened to me, but like thankfully, so I hope that if someone feels with that, they can talk with someone, with an adult or someone that can help you to just take away this issue.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that that's the other problem, right? The other problem with cyberbullying is the fact that a lot of people ignore it, right? You think that it's not such a big problem, it's not such a big deal. But bullying is always so serious. Bullying
Still being
always is a
yeah,
problem. Yeah, it still is bullying, even though it's done on social media, which is why we need to remember to essentially, whether it's online or in person, if somebody is bullying you, or if you see somebody else bullying, that kind of action needs to be stopped. That kind of action needs to end, and for it to end, you need to speak up. First, ignoring it and saying it's not such a big deal isn't going to change anything for anybody, which is why it's so important to actually, if you see somebody posting hurtful comments on someone, on your post or on somebody else's post, make sure that you report those comments. Okay, block the offender, report the abuse, and talk to somebody you trust about it, because I think that is absolutely important. Cyberbullying can go so far, right? I know it seems super like unimportant in the beginning, but it can escalate so much so, and it can cost people their lives. Because I know of so many instances where people decide to take their own life because of the comments, the hate that they felt on social media. It's
yeah,
a very real thing.
that really hurts because sometimes that person can be someone like really close to you and you don't know, because sometimes that people feel like don't feel comfortable to express that they are in this situation. That's I think that that's why important to ask. Are you really good instead of how are you? Like, are you really good right now with your mental health, with
Mm.
everything that's happening around you? Because you never know.
Yeah, that's so true. So that is something you need to remember. I guess even if you're somebody that's aware of all of these things, you could definitely teach other people, because I know a lot of younger people don't have this knowledge. They don't know that there's help out there. They don't know that people, they don't know what they should know about social media. So education always is really important, and not just children. There are adults out there who don't really know how to use social media also. So even if you are aware, make sure that you use that information to and share it, like what me and Andrea are doing with you right now. it's
And
it's
that's
almost like a
yourself. Yeah, because
yeah.
people just teach you the basics, but you need to know more about that. Like if someone teach you how to cook, like just rice, you try to teach yourself how to cook rice with this. Trying to just keep more information as you can have.
That's so true. You need to be careful when you're on social media. Educate people around you, like we just told you. And also, more importantly, I want to remind you of what we spoke of earlier on. At the end of the day, you need to practice self care on social media. That's what we've been reiterating. That's what we've been saying for so long. It's so important that you take care of yourself on social media, because social media can be your best friend, but it also can be your enemy if you switch it. It's a very actually it's a dilemma, to say the least. It is a huge dilemma. So you need to remember all of these things. You need to remember to be as safe as possible, to teach the people you are around with, teach the young people around that you associate, the importance of taking care of themselves on social media. Now, with that being said, I think it's about that time that we take a little break. But make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio.
Again. But now, if you say to a child, if I went up to a child and said, you've had one to forget, God, there'd be an inquest. Me, why did you reject my son? Oh, I haven't rejected your son.
I want to talk about, how the generation gap, has how much it's changed, especially when you check the youth nowadays in comparison, to people back in the day.
I'd say when I was younger, it was more disciplined. Not now.
In comparison to now.
Not at all. Not now. The way things are nowadays, the younger generation, you seem that they can't accept the word no. If that makes sense. They can't
accept rejection, essentially, is all you're trying to say.
Yeah, they can't accept the word no. So if you, how did I do? Or you didn't do very well, and they get upset, And when I was a youngster, my father used to say to me, because I used to be sport mad when I was very young. Well, I still am sport mad, but like participating in different sports. And if I had a bad game, for example, I'd say to me, you had one to forget. That's it.
Yeah, that sounds like a smart guy. I mean, yeah, that's the real fact of the matter, yeah.
He'd say to me, you had one to forget. Get over it. And that was it. So I'd dust myself down and do it again. But now, if you say to a child, if I went up to a child and said, you've had one to forget, God, there'd be an inquest. An inquest. Me, why did you reject my son? Oh, I haven't rejected your son. Or daughter. I've just told them that they need to buck their ideas up.
That's the truth right there. I mean, if you think about it, if you check the generations, like right now in the US as well, I've seen a lot of these things as well. In the UK, you get medals for participation. But what's the point? What are you trying to? Yeah, what's the point? Either you win or you lose. People are so afraid to put that whole notion of lose. When it comes to right now, the generation gap is just crazy. How much a lot has changed. Social media has taken control of our lives, and we don't even realize it anymore. We're crippled because of it.
That's absolutely right, Nick. Because, as you said, nowadays it seems that you get rewarded for failure. For the life of me, Nick, I can't get my head around that. Perhaps I'm just getting old and morbid. I don't know. I just can't get my head around how you could be rewarded for failure.
back, everyone. How are you, Jamie, after this break?
I am very good. Hope you are doing good as well. This is, of course, the Relax Radio on Chat Trap.
With Jamie and Andrea. I just want to remind you to download the app as we saw in the advertisement, because I think that you can keep entertainment with really good topic as we are talking about, and you can listen to other topics as well that I think that you will find really interesting to know. As you say, Jamie, like yesterday about Friends, that series, I just looked at the news and I just realized that some of the actors passed away, which as you know, I didn't watch Friends.
Friend.
Yeah, so I don't know
Yeah.
about it. Can you
Yeah,
explain?
no, I heard about it though. So what exactly they said was that uh, uh, the one of the actors had essentially been diagnosed with cancer. So that's James Michael Tyler, and he's the one that plays Gunther. So for everybody that does watch, Friends, if you watch Friends, you obviously know who Gunther is. He is at the Central Park Vader Gunther. He has been diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer, which is absolutely sad. It's really scary to hear about these things, and it's sad that somebody, like, I don't know about you, but because if you do watch Friends, you know that Gunther is always this like really excited person, and to know that the real life person is actually suffering so much, like it's insane, like he's suffering so much. It's really sad to know that. And what I want to talk about within the next couple hours, or the next couple minutes actually, is what we can do to help people that are undergoing similar situations. What we can do to help people that are undergoing situations like what James Michael Tyler is. And if you're just tuning in, we've been talking about James Michael Tyler, who is the star who played Central Park Waiter Gunther from Friends, and he just announced on social media that he was diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer rather. And I actually did, I don't know if you watched the interview, Andrea, but I just watched the interview, and he said on NBC's Today Show, he said that he is diagnosed on September 2018 after a routine examination that he didn't expect it whatsoever, that he was perfectly fine. But from the moment he got to know, it was just a downward spiral. It was just it was a lot to deal with, and that's the case with almost anybody that's been diagnosed with any type of illness. Be it physically any physical illness or even mental illnesses. It's absolutely really hard for people that have been diagnosed, especially when they didn't expect it. So what I was really fascinated by James Michael Tyler's story. He said he was perfectly fine. He had no symptoms whatsoever, but like he went for a routine checkup, and that's when this happened. So that to me is really scary, and that just shows to us that life is so what's the word? It's so unpredictable.
Yeah,
Life is so
yeah,
like you could be perfect now, but you don't know what's going to come in the next moment.
yeah. And I think that we just need to support that people, like with as much as you can, either with just being close to him, talk like, or any person, talk like, how are you, how do you feel? And sometimes they just have change of humor change, like everyone has it, but I think that's really important to support them by any way that you can, because either it's not your close friend or a family, you never know if that's gonna happen to you or someone to you. So I don't wish that for anyone, for real.
Yeah, that's so true. And that just brings us to our next point, which is about the fact that life is so unpredictable. Like you said, it's so like you don't know what's going to happen in the next moment. So I guess the moral of the story is that we need to live every single moment like it's our last. We need to try to enjoy as much as possible every single minute. Remember that life is not guaranteed, and that just, I don't know, for me, Andrea, the fact that things like this happen to people, and the fact that life is so momentary, it kind of reminds me that at the end of the day, I need to live my best life. I need to be a good person. I need to help out people, and I just need to live my best life because tomorrow isn't guaranteed,
Yeah, you
right?
never know. Like you just don't keep with that feeling that I wanted to try that, but I never did that. Just try to
Mm.
do that. Like if that ending something bad, it's gonna end. it's gonna end, so don't worry. But if that ends in something good that you didn't expect it, you can still enjoying that. And I don't know, I just think about that same as you, to enjoy life and be happy, like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's all about not regretting. Like you said, you don't want to, you know when you're on your deathbed someday, hopefully it's not soon, but one day, all of us are going to die. All of us. That's just a
Yeah,
part of being human beings. And one day when you're on that deathbed, you need to remember, or you need to feel like, oh my goodness, my life, I did everything I wanted. That's the kind of
yeah,
feeling that you need to have. Like, no regrets. I did everything I was supposed to. I'm happy with how my life went. But for you to feel that way on your deathbed, you need to start now. You need to start doing what you love. You need to start working on your passions. More importantly, I feel like you need to start spending time with the people that you love.
yeah.
We are so busy with our everyday life that we kind of forget to connect with the people that we love. We forget to tell the people we love them that we love them, and we forget to work on our relationships.
Yeah,
So I
also
think that.
try to don't give up, because my brother, the first time my mom obligate him to like go to do badminton. My brother never wanted, and he ended being a champion from a world country. So he never wanted to go until my mom said that. So I think try don't give up. If you have an amazing opportunity, just take that. If it's either a small opportunity, just take that, because you never know, and you just enjoy, like, what are you gonna do? I don't know how to explain, but yeah, I really got you, and I understand what you're trying to say, and I am thinking same of you.
Yeah, absolutely. No, don't give up, because you never know if you're going to be great at something unless you actually try it out. It's okay if you fail. Failure, for me at least, I believe that failure is just a part of the
Yeah.
process.
It's not something.
Failure,
Yeah,
yeah, it's not something bad. It's just something that is going to happen to you on the journey to success. No, see, if people always ask me, oh, what's so great about Beyonce, or what's so great about opera, or all of these famous people, the difference between them and somebody not so famous or not so successful is that we gave up on our dreams. We didn't work as hard as they did. See, if you think about, okay, if you take Beyonce for an example, she started from the rock bottom, but she
yeah.
worked on her talent. She worked so hard. She put in the hours. She tired herself, and she believed in herself,
I
which
mean,
is the
that's yes, and that's really hard to keep it, but she did it, and look at her now.
Yeah, see, that's what's most important. I think it's to not give up. It's to work hard and to live every day like your last, but learn like you're going to live forever. That, I think, should be like the motto of life, and that is one very important thing to kind of remember when you do your day to day activities. So I guess the moral of the story, or the main takeaway from the conversation that we had just had, Andrea, we spoke of how Friends star James Michael Tyler, who plays Central Park Waiter Gunther, has just been diagnosed with cancer, and we told you how he didn't absolutely agree. He didn't expect it, but it just happened, and he just gave us a beautiful message. He said it's about living life so much so, because you never know what's going to happen to you. You could have so much money, you could have so many physical assets and wealth, but you don't know what's going to happen to your life. You don't know when's your last moment. So make sure that you're grateful about the life that you have. Make sure that you work hard on what you love to do. And of course, make sure that you love the people that are with you and around you. So that is definitely something that we want all of you all to remember.
That's a really, really nice advice. I really liked that. Thank you for giving us like this amazing sentence to
No,
just
sir. Andrea, that's what you said as well. That was basically what I got from all of your stories. You gave us some beautiful examples, some beautiful stories. And just like Andrea shared with us her personal stories, and I don't know about you, everybody listening in, but that helped me so much. Um, if you want to share your stories as well, if you want to share with us your personal stories, if you want to share with us your personal experiences that we can voice out to all the people listening in, you could most definitely do that by calling us up on 07852 or you could very simply comment down below if you're listening to us on any of our social media apps. Now, with that being said, we're going to head on to a little break, but make sure that you keep it tuned in right here on Relax Radio.
Climb Mount Everest. That is one of my that's in my bucket list. You're laughing, but that is the facts right there. I'd love to do that. That is something I'm looking forward to do. Hopefully,
Climb Everest.
Mount Everest. I mean, okay, not the very tip of Mount Everest, maybe the base camp at least.
They're talking about mental health. Well, if you went out and got some exercise in the fresh air, that will improve your mental health. It will make you feel better.
That's true. That is true. I wholeheartedly agree. But then for some people, it's how do you find the motivation to, especially when it comes to riding a bicycle, to do it again and again and again and again? It's a cycle that you have to be used to. How do you do it? What makes you wake up in the morning and decide, hey, I'm going to pick my bike up today. I'm going to cycle. What makes you want to do that?
What makes me want to do that?
Yeah. What do you like? What could you give listeners, like people listening in right now? What kind of tip could you give them?
Well, the first tip I would give them, if you haven't tried it before, try it. It can open up new horizons. It will make you fitter. It will definitely make you fitter. Cycling is one of the best forms of aerobic exercise you can do.
It sounds like, I mean, if you think about it, yeah, it sounds like great fun. Because what essentially you're trying to say is also at the same time, when you, if you look at it from this perspective, with regards to mental health, especially when you look at it with mental health, this is another way to fight it. I feel like you go outside, you meet more people, you interact with, socially, you will interact with more people, and you're keeping fit, you're making connections, you're breathing in the good and exhaling the bad. I feel like that's a great thing right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got a better way with words than I have, I'll tell you. But you're quite right. What you say there. You're quite right.
I mean, I've been doing this for quite some time. I mean, hey, you'll get the hang of it.
I've been doing it for about 10 minutes now, so yeah.
That I can never really understand people staying in one room the whole day when you can have the world to see. I am a traveler. I travel. I love traveling. Traveling is just one of the things I do. And yeah, on top of my bucket list was, to one time, hopefully when I get there, go to Nepal and climb Mount Everest. That is one of my that's in my bucket list. You're laughing, but that is the facts right there. I'd love to do that. That is something I'm looking forward to do. Hopefully,
Climb Everest.
Mount Everest. Okay, not the very tip of Mount Everest. Maybe the base camp at least.
Base camp, yeah.
At least.
Would you be able to cycle there?
Oh.
The Chat Trap.
Welcome back to the show. A very good morning to you. Hope you are having yourself an amazing day so far. We've had such amazing conversation. We've spoken about a lot of different things, and we just want to let you know that for us, what's most important is that you be a part of the show. Okay, it's so important that you get in touch with us, that you communicate with us, let us know what's going on. You could most definitely do that by calling us up on 07852 473 473, or you could very simply connect with us by leaving a comment down below on any of our social media platforms. Now, with that being said, we have a lot more conversation to talk about, but before we do that, I also want to remind you to check us out on our social media platforms. That is Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We go as Relaks Radio, and we give you the best of content all day, every day. So make sure that you go show us some love on our social media platforms right now, right here. We're a fun bunch. We have so many people in our crew, and if you want to keep yourself updated with what is happening with regards to us, if you want to keep yourself updated, all you got to do is make sure that you go right ahead and check us out on social media. And Andrea, I was actually thinking everybody needs to have conversation sometimes. Everybody needs to have some good conversation, and that's definitely what people can do with us.
I would love to talk with people, to be honest. I really like to hear different opinions about different things. I'm like, sometimes when I'm talking with people, I just feel like listening, because I like to just listen to other opinions, because sometimes you never know another point of view, and that really helps.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
true. That's absolutely true. No, sometimes it's see, even if you don't agree with what me or Andrea is talking about, that's okay. We want you to share your opinion with us, because at the end of the day, one part about
Yeah,
being a good human being is being able to tolerate different views and opinions, right?
absolutely. Yeah, you are right. I really like to like listen opinions, because sometimes you just have a thought about something, but you never you never think about the other side, like what's happening if it is not like that, and that can you need to be a person with an open mind, because that could help you to do extraordinary things.
Yeah, no, like yesterday we spoke about how we live in a very diverse, multicultural, multi-ethnic community, right? In a community like this, it's so important to it's so important to understand people. It's important to, be with people and understand different people with different opinion. And it's just, there's never going to be a community of people that think alike. Everybody is going to have different opinions, everybody is going to have a different perspective, but that doesn't mean that you hate them, or that doesn't mean that you not tolerate their opinion. It's just that people think differently, and that's okay, as long as you don't obstruct anybody else's opinion,
Yeah,
or as long as you don't
anyone. Yeah.
you don't offend anyone. Absolutely, as long as you don't do that, then I think it's perfectly fine. So yeah, go right ahead, call us up on 07852 473 473 if you want to have a conversation with us. We, like Andrea said, we would absolutely love to talk to you. We would love to have a conversation with you. So go right ahead, call us up and connect with us. Now, with that being said, we are going to be talking about something very, very interesting, and that is with regards to reality shows, with regards to Love Island. Are you a fan of reality shows like Love Island?
To be honest, I'm a person that likes to watch reality shows. Like when I just watch an episode, I just want to finish the whole. But I never watched Love Island. But I know that there is some famous people about it, like Ollie. Molly something. Sorry
Yeah,
about.
I don't remember that. I don't really follow Love Island as well. The Bachelor, Love Island. It's just not my thing. But I know that there's a lot of people listening in that are absolutely in love with reality TV and reality shows like Love Island. So I just wanted to give a little update with what's happening with regards to Love Island 2021. So ITV basically announced the cast, and there's something super amazing that I want to talk about. It's because Love Island 2021 is going to have the first disabled or differently abled contestant, which I think is absolutely amazing. You
Wow.
know,
Yeah, of course.
yeah, it's been over about a year since we last got to experience like the thrill of coupling up at Love Island, and in and all of the drama that comes along. But ITV apparently confirmed that the first contestants who will be heading into Love Island's famous Mahoka Villa, I hope I'm saying it right. I don't really know, but yeah. They will be heading into the villa, and this includes somebody called Hugo Hammond from Hampshire, who has played disability or differently abled cricket for England, for the UK, which is absolutely amazing. So that just, I don't know, for me, that just shows that they're including more people in their cast, because there can be issues with regards to reality TV.
Yeah.
A lot of people say it's negative and it has negative connotations, which I guess could be true to a certain
I really would like to watch that because I love to see like people with different personalities in a conversation, because you will never know how that's gonna turn different ways. Like you can do someone that is like like that, like I don't know how to explain, like someone like with energetic and someone that is not like that. I want to know like how, I don't know. I just like to watch drama and that.
Yeah, that's I think why reality TV is so popular. You kind of want, it's curiosity, like what you just said. You
Yeah,
want to know, right? And that's what I think it is with people. They just want to know what happens. Even when it comes to like things like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, why it got so famous was because people wanted to know how they live. They wanted to know the daily lives of their celebrities, and that's why I think things like The Bachelor or Love Island or even Keeping Up with the Kardashians or Real Housewives, I know that it can have negative influences rather on society. Obviously, we've all heard about how reality TV can have a really bad influence on our society. But apart from that, it's also entertainment. It's things that people like to watch to kind of zone out to relax to,
give
and
the
who have
time.
been.
Yeah, absolutely. I do that as well when I have free time. Movies. There is any stuff that can entertain me for that moment. It's just like for that moment. I always think like it's TV in like as a social media. It's not that real.
Mm. Yeah, it's TV, absolutely. You need to understand that it's not always real. It's nice to kind of get a look into somebody else's life, but you need to remember that it's not always real, that it's not always what it seems like. So, going back into Love Island, if you're just tuning in, we spoke of how Love Island is actually going to have its first disabled contestant, and that is going to be Hammond, Hugo Hammond from Hampshire, who is going to be the first person who looks different and who is different from the usual people from the cast and crew of Love Island, which is amazing because that's just inclusivity. Because other people with I don't know, other differently abled people could look up to it and kind of be influenced by it. So I think that's amazing. ITV also has put in new protocols for mental health this year after concerns over the contestant welfare, which I think is very interesting because last year, I don't know if you remember, but last year there were a lot of people talking about how sometimes these reality shows could have really bad or negative mental health implications, not just on the contestants but on the people watching as well, right?
I think
And
that's a pretty good example. Not either as a reality show, but if did you watch the Euro, like the when Cristiano Ronaldo started talking, he just leave the Coca Cola and he just said agua, like water. So that I saw that, and everyone started drinking water. I think that that's a pretty good influence. But the same is drama as well, because Coca-Cola is one of the supporters of the euro. So I think that's very important to have someone in the reality that can bring something good energy or influence in a good way.
Absolutely. No, yeah, people need to. That just goes back to our previous conversation about how people need to understand that everything that they see is not always real. Everything that they see isn't, sometimes all of these influencers and celebrities, like you said, Cristiano Ronaldo, they sponsor a lot of things, which means they're like, oh yeah, this is good, or this item is good, use this, use that, when in reality, it's just a sponsorship. Or it's just they're getting paid money to do it and they don't really believe in it. So that is something that people do need to remember when you buy things, or when you choose to follow the advice of a celebrity. They get paid to do it, and that's definitely one thing that people need to remember. So yeah, we've been talking about Love Island, and we've been talking about how they are going to actually start again in 2021, which is absolutely amazing. And I know reality shows could get a really bad reputation. A lot of people say it has a really bad influence in society, and I think it's true. Because for me also, like you said, reality TV is like a guilty pleasure. Like, I don't want to say I watch it, but like, just to tune off, sometimes I like to, out of curiosity, just to know what happens next. So I guess, again, yes, it could have negative consequences, but it's all about you being smart enough to know what's good for you and what's bad for you, right?
Do you just know what are you watching, how that's gonna influence to yourself? So just pay attention to that little details.
Yeah, of course. Pay attention. Just again, with regards to even like anything, social media, TV, everything has two sides. There's a good side and there's a bad side. But you need to be smart enough to take the good and get rid of the bad. So you need to kind of educate yourself. Like, it goes back to what we were talking before as well. You need to educate yourself, you need to educate those around you, and just be aware that there's always good and bad. You just need to take the good and get rid of the bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that being said, exactly. All right, with that being said,
It's true, because sometimes people just say that, but they don't do that. But as you say, it's really important to do that, because if you just ignore that and you just take the bad thing or all that, you are not gonna. You're just gonna be messed up with that stuff. Like, it may be good or it may be bad. Like, just pay attention to that. As you said, that's very important.
of course. Now, with that being said, we are going to head off on into a little break, but make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio.
and it gives them something to look at, and it makes them laugh. It makes them laugh. So that's why I do it.
Oh, and it could be a really good pickup line as well. Ladies who ask, "Hey, excuse me, so why are you wearing something so colorful?" I mean, hey, you can always have something up on your sleeve. I mean, got me thinking. You want to stand out. Why do you want to stand out though so much, especially with these kind of shirts when you're writing? There must be a purpose behind it, right?
Well, when you say a purpose, Nick, what I do, I wear the shirts, mainly one because they're nice and bright, so they make me visible, especially if I'm riding on the road.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's very important, right? Because you want cars, yeah.
Very important. And also, like, people see me in, like, calves, and perhaps I shouldn't be saying this on here, I suppose, but in the bar afterwards.
All right.
And it gives them something to look at, and it makes them laugh. It makes them laugh, so that's why I do it.
Oh, and it could be a really good pickup line as well. Ladies who ask, "Hey, excuse me, so why are you wearing something so colorful?" I mean, hey, you can always have something up on your sleeve. I mean, you look like a guy who would do.
You know me too well. You know me too well, Nick.